What's up, guys? I got the keys here, back with another video. Today, I want to talk about not letting other people affect your energy, right? Your inner G, your inner God, okay? Your inner love. Do not let people affect how you move, right? If you move from love, then keep moving from love. And I'm not saying to not feel your emotions. I'm not saying things aren't going to come up. Obviously, they are. But those things are trying to show you what is still within you. And we can change that anger into love, right? And this really comes from being heart-centered and really being within yourself at all times, and understanding that because you have a high vibration, people are going to envy you, people are going to get jealous, people are going to try and stop you. You know what I mean? They don't quite understand what is going on, in the moment, but they see your energy, right? They see your light, and that can sometimes affect their darkness, right? Their shadow side, and it pulls it out of them. And so when they start to feel that way and they come up to you, well, now you start to feel that way because of their aura, right? It's infectious energy. And so, but the more that you can, stay aware of yourself in those moments and really see, like, how is this affecting me? How am I feeling around this person? Are they draining me? Are they giving me energy? Are we reciprocating with each other, right? And I know that this can be challenging sometimes because, we have a lot going on in our lives, and the ego really likes to try and run the game. But when you can stay with that awareness, that love in your heart, and keep the vision in your mind's eye of spreading love and being that highest vibrational self that you can be, right? And what are vibrations? Vibrations are your thoughts, right? And then you have your frequency, which is the thoughts that you think frequently, or your beliefs, okay? So whatever you are thinking and feeling is emitting from your body, okay? From your soul. So the energy that you put out is what you're going to receive back. And sometimes we don't realize where our thoughts are going. And this is when we get stuck in the ego, right? We get stuck in that, in the conscious mind of, how are we going to do this? How is this going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. But if you just let your heart lead you, let your gut and your heart lead, right? Because those two things are telling you what to follow and how you feel. Like, you ever walked into a room and you just didn't feel right? Like, your gut starts, you get like a sickness, but like it's almost like nauseating, but like you almost feel like you're not supposed to be there. Something feels wrong. And this is your gut telling you, hey, this situation isn't for you. Let's go do something else, right? And this is the same thing with people. When you're around certain people, you're going to notice this as you get further and further in your journey, right? And you're going to notice how you feel around these people and what kind of thoughts are coming into your head around these people, right? And the further you get, guys, the more you can help these people, but like they also have to want that help, right? And this is kind of going back to what I've said about, like, responding and not reacting. And it's like a lot of the times we want to react in a certain way, and it's like we don't think about it before we do anything, right? And I know that is definitely a problem for me sometimes. I definitely get caught up in my ego, and but at the end of the day, I know that I'm still my higher self. I know that I'm still here, you know what I mean? And that this body is not who I am, okay? And once I can come back to myself and recenter myself, right? And this is what it means to be self-centered, not in a narcissistic way, but to be centered within the self, the real self, right? And that is your I am presence, right? And your presence is a gift. Present is a gift, right? We get presents. for Christmas, or we get presents for our birthday, etc. And so just you being aware and listening and and analyzing the situation, right? And really seeing why that person is acting that way. What are they feeling inside that they have to project this onto you? And like I said, I know this can be challenging. I still have issues with it sometimes. But the more that you work on it and the more that you can stay in the heart, right, you can respond in a loving way and say, hey, like, I see where you're coming from. I see why you're acting this way, but I don't want any parts of it, right? I'm choosing not to be around this energy. I choose to surround myself with people that care about me, that love me, that respect me, and that mirror what I am putting out, right? And I've met more and more people that do that every day. Like, it's really amazing. Like, as you get further and further and you get, less in your ego, obviously you have to use your ego, but you know what I mean? It's like you're getting more aware of yourself and aware of how the ego works. And so you can now use the ego to project the higher self, more and more in your life. And so when you're responding to somebody, you take a deep breath, you sit back, you think about what they just said to you, and why is that hurting me? Why is that affecting me? Why is that, you know what I mean? So ask the questions. It says you ask and you shall receive. If you don't ask the questions, you don't get the answers. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of people are afraid to ask God. Ask. That's all you have to do. And the answers will come to you one way or another. You just have to look out for them, right? They might be through your mind. They might be through your feelings. They might be through other people. They might be through a movie. It might be through music, right? There's so many ways that God can send you signs and synchronicities, okay? And it's deeper than, just the surface of, you know what I mean? Like this, this reality. Okay, this is only a physical view of things, but this is not who we are, right? This is the material world that we've created from the nothingness. Okay? Everything has already been created. So, like I've said before, you have multiple selves in different dimensions, different aspects of yourself, different universes, different earths. There's so many different versions of you, it's actually impossible to perceive. But this is why we split ourselves to refine ourselves. Because if we already knew everything, did everything, and have been everything, what would be the point? Do you see? So it's like we're basically living out all of our different selves through each life, right? And it's just, the more that we can stay in our soul, our awareness of ourself, we can truly see what's really going on behind the scenes, right? And so, like, when somebody pisses me off, I'm aware of myself, and I'm like, why am I so angry, right? What is causing me to be this angry about this person acting the way they did, right? And I know that, like, yes, there's going to be things that, like, piss you off, but if you can learn to stay calm in those moments, oh man, you are going to be a powerful, powerful weapon. You know what I mean? And not in a bad way, but like, people don't like when you can stand confidently in yourself while you're being yelled at, while you're being, joked about, while you're being ridiculed. They don't like that shit. It actually makes them more mad. And because they can't do anything to hurt you. And this is why people say to protect your energy, right? But there's really nothing to protect, guys. You are the protector, right? You're already protected, but you have to choose that. And so, like, protecting your energy really comes down to, like, hey, I can feel what you're putting out towards me, and I don't like it. So I'm not gonna be around you, right? I choose not to deal with that. That's not my journey. Okay. So that's what protecting your energy is. Okay. And again, responding in a way that you can really show love to them and say, hey, I see where you're coming from. You know, like, I mean, you don't have to physically say this to them, but like, like in my mind, I see where you're coming from. I feel you in my heart. I understand why you are the way you are. And I understand why you're treating me this way. This could be because of insecurities. This could be because of jealousy, envy, hate, like I said before. But all of that is really love in disguise, right? Haven't you ever noticed that a lot of the people that don't like you end up copying you, or they end up doing the things that you did, or they end up becoming something like you? Because I find it quite amazing. And it's like, you really have that much influence, guys. Like, seriously, I mean, like, just from me starting to work out, starting to eat better, and being my authentic self, this inspires other people to do the same fucking thing, right? And like, it's actually awesome. Like, people come up to you and they're just like, hey man, like, I saw like you doing this, and this, and it inspired me to start doing it. And like, that feels good. But there's also like the opposite, where people just start to copy you, but they won't give you your credit. But you can take this as flattery too, right? They say that imitation is flattery. And so, you know, people will start copying you. People will start doing what you're doing. And when they realize that they can't do what you're doing because they don't have your energy, right? You are a divine being, right? You have your own perception, your own mind, your own perception of life, your own POV, so to say, right? And your own beliefs, everything, right? This all affects reality. And so some people won't be on the same reality you are. A lot of people are still stuck in their egos. And that's why all this anger, jealousy, and hate, all of this comes up, is because they haven't found themselves yet. They haven't really experienced themselves as their God self, right? Again, this human body is not who you are. You are not a human being. You are the being. And we are all that being. So learn to respond in a loving way, in a way that shows compassion for them, empathy, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying to take disrespect. I'm not saying to take anybody's bullshit, right? But like I said, respect yourself. When something is happening like that, walk away, right? Say, I'm not dealing with this today. This is not my thing. And I've had to do that too. And, you know, those people end up coming back and apologizing. And they're like, you know, I'm sorry. I don't like the way I acted, and I had some time to reflect on myself. Okay, great. That's awesome. That's exactly what I want. I want you to self-reflect. I want you to look at yourself, because the more you look at yourself, the more you find yourself and remember who you are. And that's what I want you guys to do, is to look within. This isn't about your external world. Everything that's from within is projected out, right? So the outer world is a reflection of your inner world, like how you feel about yourself, right? The amount of money you make, the job you have, the house you have, all of this is your beliefs and thoughts about life and how you see the world. And we're all upgrading that every day. You know what I mean? The more you know, the more you know. So I hope that you found something in this video that helped you, and many blessings on your journey. I hope, you know, that you truly do find your inner self, and you know what I mean? Like, and not even that you need to find it. It's already right there. You just have to look, right? Seek and ask the questions, you know, look for the answers. Okay. They're all around you and all within you. All right. So again, I hope you guys got something out of the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.